Good afternoon, I'm Thomas Hallett at Saffron Insurance.
I'm Naim Coker from CBS Automotive.
And we're here to have a conversation about the benefits to customers on fitting onboard cameras, tracking devices and other risk management tools to help them and their business. As a managing director, what do you feel has been your most strongest influence on the business?
The strongest influence, I think, has been the growth in aftermarket accessories that are available. There's been a huge growth in electronics, huge growth in computing power, which has made it possible to install a variety of items into vehicles which has never been available previously, mainly the audio video, and with that onboard cameras and vehicle tracking devices, which have moved on in leaps and bounds in the last few years. The insurance companies are now turning to people like us, independents, that can roll out across the country installation that's certified, so they know when the product's in, it's supplied and fitted to a good standard, because that's the only way to get the results. As an insurance company, if they're willing to subsidise the cameras or provide the cameras and pay for the installation, they're actually reducing premiums. So they're going to gain more customers by reducing premiums, and with lower premiums come more customers.
So what do you think is your biggest accomplishment today in your business?
With a 50-year-old business, there's been a lot of accomplishments through the last 50 years. Let's just talk about this year. This year we've been given the digital tick for digital radio. So we're the first company in the UK to gain the digital tick. So we're able to install to a very high standard digital equipment into vehicles, be it aftermarket or OEM. So that's one of them. And I would say the other one would be the fact that we've now launched the Certified Installation Program. The Certified Installation Program works with insurance companies to make sure that the equipment that's supplied is installed to a very high standard and is going to operate in the way it's supposed to. So those two combined have really put us on the map, both nationally and locally.
Are you ensuring that the business continues to grow in this current economic climate?
We're investing heavily in radio advertising for consumer, because we feel that the consumers are going to use our products that are in their vehicles, they're going to be listening to the radios. The great expansion there is in DAB, so we're advertising on DAB radio and through standard analog radio. Car industry has not seen a reduction. Car sales are up, they were up 6% last year, and looks like they're going to be up again year on year this year. So as car sales increase, we're riding that wave, as it were. The huge growth has been in the insurance market. By far the greatest growth has been we're linking up with insurance companies, providing companies ways of reducing premiums. This will face downwards, whereas this is not dependent on the gradient of the windscreen, because windscreens on trucks tend to be like that. Yeah. The other thing is this has got an emergency button on it. Hit the emergency button, it starts recording straight away. So if you've got a situation that's happened, you can hit record. Also records everything that's going on inside the cab, and they all work with these little micro SD cards. Time and date stamps are on there as well. So each one of the files are 1 minute files that you can pull down. They're on the card and email across. They can hear the radio. So there's going to be GPS as to where the car is at the time.
It gives a street view
of where it is,
Yeah.
and a map. We can look at.
Suppose you tell if your employees are back at home or actually doing business.
Absolutely. During the working day, I've nipped home. It knows I've nipped home.
Yeah.
So that's a summary of what it's been doing today. I can go back up to 7 years of every journey.
Wow.
But we can go back a little bit, and you'll see a car parked in the middle of the road for no apparent reason. Now, if somebody's parked up in front of you, I could have quite easily hit that car.
Yeah.
So he's obviously gone off to do something, maybe bake a cake or something. Now, should I hit that car? And he says, well, no, I was parked on the side of the road. It clearly shows exactly where it's parked.
In the middle of the road.
It really does pick up everything that's going on around. If we stop that footage that we just saw now, we could tell exactly what the number plate was, whether there's somebody sitting in the car or not sitting in the car. So if they're going to admit liability, the likelihood is they're going to admit liability there and then. It's very, very difficult to discredit camera footage. You've got a customer signature, and most importantly, you've got a photograph of that camera being installed on that day in that vehicle. And once that's done, there's very little room for negotiation because the benefits are huge. Fuel savings about 12%.
Purely because the driver's thinking about their driving behaviour and how they're doing their job.
Which is essentially how it lowers accidents. Because the driver's not speeding, he's not harsh accelerating, he's not harsh braking, which is, those two things are the largest contributory factors for increasing service costs.
Was there anything you wanted to change about the business when you decided to expand?
Effectively, we needed to change the business model and put it on its head. Where we were previously a regional provider, we're now a national provider, so we're spread all over the country. With 105 engineers nationwide, it meant that we had to expand the business in leaps and bounds in a very short period of time, which has had its own challenges. But we brought on board the experience of Select Car Kits, and that's been a real big factor in looking at the way that business is structured and the way that CBS Automotive is going to be structured moving forward, providing services throughout the UK, not just from a regional level. The market is a growing market. It's one of the only industries in the economy at the moment which is actually growing. So there's lots of new product coming in, like tyre pressure monitoring is coming in the next few years, so we're ready for that and the growth of that throughout the UK. DAB is probably one of the largest growth products that we see over the next couple of years. The government is soon announcing the rollout of the digital radio network in the UK, and with that means there's 23 million vehicles available. The more cars that are on the road, the more aftermarket accessories that will be available for those cars. There's other things that are coming in 2019. We've got the launch of compulsory tyre pressure monitoring. So we're getting ready for that now. So we really are looking forward to a very bright future for us, because the number of cars is increasing and therefore our business will grow with that. And we're now using synergies with other companies, like insurance companies and brokers like yourselves. Saffron Insurance is part of our strategy moving forward, so that we're working together to lower premiums with new technologies and putting those products into those cars that are going to lower those claims and speed up that claim process. So there's many other items that we can actually install to measure that driver behaviour pattern. The sooner that gets better, the lower those premiums are going to get, and both there'll be a growth in CBS Automotive and Saffron Insurance.